1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Banjo land, Mike Henning here, coming to you today with kind of I would say an advanced beginner version of Foggy Mountain Top. Classic old bluegrass standard. You're definitely going to see jamming. Bill Monroe had a great version. Flatt and Scruggs had a great version. Doc Watson, all the classics have done this song. We've got two solos. Again, kind of advanced beginner versions, I would say. We're going to use a lot of forward roll, a lot of classic Scruggs licks to kind of bring out this melody. I'll break down both solos note for note, and then show you some kind of down the neck backup you can do. Again, we're going to focus for this lesson and for the backup is staying away from the melody, right? So the melody kind of starts high and then goes down. So we're going to kind of craft our backup to kind of complement that by doing the opposite. We'll break that down in the backup section as well. All right, so enough talking. Here's Foggy Mountain Top in the key of G. Let's start breaking this one down. All right, let's start breaking down this first solo to Foggy Mountain Top. So let's take it phrase by phrase. So let's play the first 5 measures. That'll be like the opening melody line. Then we'll start breaking it down. Here we go. Do that a few times, a little faster. And really slow. So the melody is going to start up on this first string, and we're going to kind of work down. So we're starting on a G. We got 2 measures of G, and then 1 measure of C, and then back to G. So just so you can kind of hear the harmony. So we're going to start up here. Kind of like that, right? So that's what we're going to do, and we're going to start with this classic pickup, so pinching strings open and open, and then put your first finger of your left hand on the first fret of the second string and pinch again, index middle, and then walk it up to the second fret. So we have beat 1 as a rest 1, right? You've probably heard that before. And then keep your first finger down, have the thumb of your right hand come down and do a 2-3 hammer on classic bluegrass style lick. Loop that one if you want to. Having my thumb and my right hand come down to start the measure to kind of give it more power. So couple things you want to practice there is don't lift up your index finger when you hammer on like that. You keep that finger down. For 2 reasons. 1, it's going to be less work. You're not lifting that finger up. It's also going to help you practice the correct left-hand angle of your hand so you can keep those fingers down while the first string rings open. Like that. The other thing you want to practice is it's very common for beginners to rush that hammer on, get a little excited. Slow it down a little bit. Let a little of the first note ring out. It gives you a reference for the hammer on too. If you hammer on too quick, you don't hear the first note. Remember, then the right hand's just doing this. So don't put any pause in the right hand when you do that hammer on. Okay, and then we do a 3-2 pull off on the third string. So thumb index with your right hand, and then you quick do a 2-5 slide. So you have, and then 1 more forward roll, and then we're going to add our ring finger on the 2nd fret, prematurely going to that C. It's a classic Scruggs move. So I'll show you an easier way in a second to do it if you don't want to do that. But this is a classic Scruggs kind of lick that you should get down if you can. Again, so we pull off, slide. So I'm doing thumb index and then thumb index middle with my right hand there. And then I'm going into that that C a little bit early. So you'll see that second fret on the first string at the end of measure 3. Make sure you use your ring finger. I'm going into that C early. That's all I'm doing. If that's too tricky at first, play it without that and just play it as open. So, and then just go into the C. But that's a classic little Scruggs move to grab that C just a little bit early. He also does it the opposite way, where sometimes he's on the C and he'll take that finger off just a second early as well. So try it both ways and see what you like. But that's how it should sound if you do it right. And then we do a forward roll with the hammer on. So you basically get these two fingers down of your C and then go into measure 4, do an open 2 hammer on with your middle finger with a forward roll. So strings 4, 3, 1, 4, 3, 1, 4, 1. Oh, those are the strings, not the frets. Again, if you're having trouble with it, just take the hammer on out. So without the hammer on, it's... Don't change the right hand and add the hammer on back. Your right hand's doing the exact same thing either way. So again, we go into it from measure 3. And then measure 5 back to open, 2-5 slide, and then pinch the top strings, which just basically sets up the pickup to the next phrase. So we have... Those first 5 measures. Here we go. Okay, so remember, in terms of the melody, basically what we're doing is we're finding all those melody notes on, instead of just playing them on open strings, we're going to a string lower and then hammering on into it and then rolling through it, right? So we're doing that in measure 2. Instead of just being like... Right? That's not that interesting. It doesn't really sound like bluegrass, right? If I just go... So we're going... So again, we're taking those ideas and we're finding those notes on a lower string and hammering on and sliding and pulling off, right? Pull off, slide. And then on the C, we're just kind of playing like a roll. Highlighting the 4th string and 3rd string to kind of bring out that melody. Same thing back in measure 5. Instead of just playing open, you know, like that, we're sliding into it. Okay? So that's the opening melody line 1. Now we basically play a similar melody line and it's kind of like a call and response. So we start it the same way. Measure 6 is the same as measure 2. And then we do that pull off again, same idea. This time do an alternating thumb roll. So. And then reach your 3rd finger down to the 4th fret of the 4th string and go. And then into a D. So 2nd fret. You can either use your 1st finger or 2nd finger. I usually use my 2nd finger, but either one works. So you have... Let's just play it right there a few times. So. So the melody kind of starts the same way. Like that. So that's the sail away to the west part, right? So we're going. Measure 7 is a classic bluegrass lick. That's a great lick to lead into any D chord. Good melody practice there. Land here. Do 2 forward rolls where you're going to use the 5th string even though it's a D chord. So don't hit the 5th string too loud, but do this. Kind of bringing out, accenting my index finger in measure 8 and 9. And the timing is 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4. Okay, so a little faster. Notice how we're also using a lot of forward roll to keep this the melody moving and driving forward. So let's play 6 through 9. We have. The other thing you'll notice about the D chord there is in the vocals, it's basically like a long note. I'd sail away to the west, right? And we're filling that up with rolling, right? If you were playing just a single note melody, again, it would just hang out on that one note, which works when you're singing it, but it's not that interesting to kind of, so that's kind of a good way to translate that idea to the banjo, is we're playing forward roll. The other thing there is make sure you're not pushing down that second fret too hard or bending it slightly. It's easy to kind of bend that note out of tune a little bit, right? So just be kind of careful there. So again, you can see how it's a kind of a call and response melody, right? We have phrase 1. Phrase 2, kind of the response.